Bonjour. While I take attendance, please translate the following phrases into French. Well, if you're looking at this and I've already taken attendance, then just go straight ahead into translating into French. That was my dog who made that strange noise, not me. All right, so let's start by just practicing a little bit of the vocabulary that we've done recently. So you've got 6 phrases there. Would you please rewrite those in French? I'm going to ask you to pause so that you have enough time to do them, and then you'll have the answers in a second. So go ahead and press pause. So I'm laughing because my dog is making noise. Here are our answers if you've already finished. So I went, say it after me. Je suis allée. Number 2, she entered. Répétez. I didn't say in French, did I? Elle est rentrée. Sorry, elle est entrée. Number 3, I was hungry. J'ai eu faim. Number 4, she went home. Elle est rentrée. Number 5, he looked for. Il a cherché. Okay, today we're going to learn a new set of verbs, and they're called reflexive verbs. So make sure you have your notebook in front of you, open to some space to take some notes. These are a little bit different than the verbs we've done before, but they're not any more difficult. They're just different. Okay, here we go. Would you please label the top of your page using reflexive verbs in the present and past tenses? We're just going to do present right now. So you can write using reflexive verbs in the present tense. Pause if you need more time. Okay, so the first thing we want to know is what is a reflexive verb? So reflexive verbs, let's copy down this definition. A reflexive verb is used to describe actions that are done by the subject to the subject. Press pause, copy that down, and then I'll explain to you what I mean by that. Okay, a reflexive verb is something you do to yourself. For example, brushing your teeth. You're doing the action and you're receiving the action, both. So it's reflexive. It reflects back on you. Getting dressed is another one. You're dressing yourself. That's what we say in English. Similar in French. You're dressing yourself. You're not dressing someone else. Same thing with brushing your hair, right? It's doing it to yourself. You're not brushing someone else's hair. You're brushing your own hair. So that's what reflexive verbs are. They're verbs of things that you do to yourself. And a lot of them are things we do to get ready, to get dressed, to brush our teeth, to wash our face, to put on makeup, to take a shower. They're all things we do to take care of ourselves. So we're going to start with 2 examples, and they're right here on your screen in front of you. They are se laver, which means to wash or to wash yourself, and s'habiller, which means to get dressed. So you can copy those 2 down. Se laver, s'habiller. You're going to notice something different right off the bat. The verb is no longer one word, it's now 2 words. That se or s apostrophe is what we would call myself or yourself or himself, herself. In the infinitives, we always use se. Se laver, s'habiller. So pause if you need time to write those down. So, I just told you this, right? Se laver is to wash yourself. S'habiller is to get dressed or to dress yourself. Okay, let's look at the conjugations of these in the present tense. I'd like you to copy down both of these. I know it's going to take a few minutes, so I want you to press pause, copy down the conjugations so you can see. Before you copy them down, though, let's just talk about them while you're looking at them. Notice that each verb is now 2 words, and the first word and the second word both change. The first one completely changes. Me, te, se, you can see it down there on the left. The second word, the actual verb, that first one's called the reflexive pronoun. The actual verb changes just the way it normally would in any other ER verb. It's just that we have this extra word in there, and it means, for example, je me lave means myself. I wash myself. They just put the myself in front of the wash. I wash myself. Now, if you speak Spanish, this should be familiar to you because in Spanish you do it the same way, right? So think about some of those verbs like brushing your teeth or verbs like that, which I don't actually know off the top of my head, but I know they work the same way. Not all of them are the same, but some of them are. So let's pause and copy down these 2 conjugations in your notebook, and then we'll say them together. say these verbs together. The first one, repeat the different forms after me. Je me lave. I wash myself, right? Je me lave. Tu te laves. Il se lave. Elle se lave. Nous nous lavons. Notice that the reflexive pronoun for nous is nous, so you have to say nous twice, which I know sounds funny to us at first. Try it again. Nous nous lavons. Vous vous lavez. Il se lave. Elle se lave. Now notice the negative right under there. The ne and the pas, I've always told you that only one word goes between ne and pas, right? But actually two go between ne and pas here. Je ne me lave pas. Say it after me. Je ne me lave pas. Say it again. Je ne me lave pas. How would I say he doesn't wash himself? Try that one, and then I'll tell you in just a second what it is. Il ne se lave pas. Il ne se lave pas. Okay, let's go over s'habiller, to get dressed. Say it after me. Je m'habille. I-L-L-E always has a y sound, like a Y. Try the next one. Tu t'habilles. Il s'habille. Elle s'habille. Nous nous habillons. Vous vous habillez. Il s'habille. Elle s'habille. And then look at the negative here. You still have the reflexive pronoun and the verb inside the ne and the pas. And we've used an apostrophe because habille starts with a vowel sound, which is why we did m'habille, t'habille, s'habille, right? Because there's an H at the beginning and that is a vowel sound because the H is silent. Say it again. Je ne m'habille pas. Awesome. All right, we're going to do a couple together. It says après le match de basket, which you should all know means after the basketball match. They're giving us our directions in the textbook in French these days. So let's see if we can figure out what this says. Des copains ont joué au basket. Copains are friends, right? Ont joué is played. Au basket, basketball, right? Après le match, after the game, ils se lavent. They take showers, they wash. So we wouldn't say they wash themselves. We would say they take a shower. But this is just a different way of saying it in French. So let's start. We have Stéphanie. We need to take Stéphanie and then put the right pronoun and the right verb. So Stéphanie se lave. Let's try Patrick together. Patrick, what's going to be the right pronoun? Se, exactly. And lave is the right verb. So we have Patrick se lave. Now you can do this out loud if you want to, or you can do it on paper. It's up to you. We're going to just do the first couple together. Why don't you try number 2 on your own, because it's going to be very similar to number 1. Nathalie. We want to say Nathalie washes. Excellent. Did you say or write Nathalie se lave? Let's try 3 together. We have Eric et Olivier. Now this is 2 guys, so it's not going to be se lave in the same ending, but it is still going to be a se, right? Eric et Olivier, what do you have? Il se lave. It sounds exactly like the se lave up above it because the ENT is silent. Il se lave. Excellent. I'd like you to do 4 through 8 on your own. Remember that when we use moi and toi, we need to change those in 7 and 8 to je and tu. So we're going to do 4 through 8, just saying each person washes themselves. Go ahead and press pause, and then I'll give you the answers when you come back. Okay, number 4, say it after me. Corinne se lave. Numéro 5, Nous, nous l'avons. Check this against what you did, or if you did it out loud, try to remember what you did. Numéro 6. Vous, vous l'avez. Répétez. Vous, vous l'avez. Numéro 7. Je me lave. Je me lave. And number 8. Tu te laves. Tu te laves. Excellent. All right, we're going to learn a few more reflexive verbs. So we have se laver and s'habiller. We're not going to write out the conjugations for each of these. We're just going to write them down in the infinitive, and you will know how to make them in the right form. So let's start with se réveiller is to wake up. So I want you to say it after me, then pause it while you write it down. Se réveiller. If you have a cat, you know that experience. Okay, remember you're pausing to do the writing. Je me réveille à l'heure. Say it after me. I get up on time. Say it after me. Je me réveille à l'heure. Excellent. Se lever is to get up. Notice the difference. Se réveiller is when you go from being asleep to being awake. Se lever is to get up, which can be later, right? You can lie in bed for a while. Se lever. Say it after me. Se lever. And write it down. Je me lève en retard. I get up late. Say it after me. Je me lève en retard. Excellent. Je me lève en retard. Se promener is to take a walk or to go for a walk. Say it after me. Se promener. Okay, take a second to write it. Press pause if you need to. Say the sentence after me. Je me promène dans la forêt. Wonderful. Another one, se reposer, to rest or to take a rest, what we all like to do. Say it after me. Se reposer. Now pause and copy it down. Here's our sample sentence. Répétez. Je me repose sur le canapé. I rest on the sofa. Say it after me. Je me repose sur le canapé. Se coucher is to go to bed. Say it after me. Se coucher. Write that down. Here's our sample sentence. J'ai sommeil, alors je me couche. Right? I'm sleepy, so I go to bed. Say it after me. J'ai sommeil, alors je me couche. Okay, now we're going to look at some pictures and say what each person is doing. This person's alarm is going off, so what would we say? Should we make it elle or il? I'm not sure which one it is. We'll see. Il se réveille. Il se réveille. Say it after me. Il se réveille. Excellent. He's getting dressed. How are we going to say that? Let's say these out loud. Just look in your notebook and see if you can figure it out. Il s'habille. Il s'habille. Ah, she's getting up. Or he's getting up. Excellent. Il se lève. And I wrote a sentence for it, right? Il se lève à 9 heures. Ah, he's going to bed. Il se couche. Il se couche. Ah, she's washing her hands now. Elle se lave. It doesn't really matter to use this verb, what she's watching by itself. Elle se lave. We're just saying she's washing. Elle se lave. Let's try the next one. Oh, he's going for a walk. Say it in French. He's going for a walk. Il se promène. Say it after me. Il se promène. Okay, now I've got a story for you to read in French, and you're going to translate it into English. You can do this by reading it and saying it aloud in English as you go, or you can write it out. It doesn't really matter since you're going into English. It doesn't really make a difference which one. You know how to do those things already. So here's a story. I'm going to read it to you out loud, and then I want you to go through and translate it. Je me réveille en retard. D'abord, je me lève, puis je m'habille. Ensuite, je me promène avec le chien au parc. À 4 heures, je me repose pendant 1 heure. Après le dîner, je me couche. Pendant in that second to last sentence means during or for, so for an hour. So take a moment, pause the recording, take a moment, and translate that into English. Okay, we're going to leave now and go do our independent work. So it's time for me to say au revoir, à plus tard, et bonne journée.